Welcome to the Health Trip Podcast. My name is Jill Foose. I'm a functional medicine and integrative nutrition health coach. I created this podcast to bring you along as we travel down intriguing, science-packed roads, debunking old medical paradigms and perusing new innovative therapies and modalities with the finest functional medicine doctors, practitioners, and like-minded biohackers while living our best life. Enjoy the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode on the Health Trip Podcast. Today, I'm diving into a topic that affects over 50% of women navigating menopause and beyond, hair loss in midlife. It's estimated that about 30 million women in the United States experience female hair loss. That's a staggering number, and yet it's still something many of us feel ashamed of or try to hide. Think about it. Women spend thousands on skincare, fitness programs, clothing, even plastic surgery. And now hair health is part of that equation too. As young women, we never gave our hair much thought. It was shiny, thick, and resilient. But as we age, whether from hormonal shifts, chronic stress, genetics, or health challenges, our hair tells a different story. So today I want to talk about why hair loss happens in midlife and what the science says, and why working with a health coach to build a strong, healthy foundation that includes sleep, nutrition, stress management, and movement can truly be game-changing. And this is a journey I've been on, as you have learned through my social media, for over 30 years. So it's something that I'm absolutely passionate about. So first, let's understand the basics on hair. Most of us shed about 50 to 100 hairs a day, but when it feels like clumps in the shower, it's pretty alarming. It can send us into panic mode. I've been there many times, especially if you're someone who is fearful of washing your hair every day, or maybe someone told you not to wash your hair every day. You will see more hair shedding on day 3 or 4, like 3 to 500 hairs, and that's a lot. And by the way, I have had lots of hair loss experts on my podcast who all confirm the same thing. It's a myth. If your hair is going to fall out, it's going to fall out, and not washing it is not the solution. Our hair actually grows in cycles. So there's the anagen phase, which is the hair growth phase lasting 2 to 8 years. And then the catagen phase. This is a short transitional phase, and it's just a couple weeks long. And then the telogen phase, which is the resting phase. And this is where hair eventually falls out, usually lasting a few months. So problems occur when too many hair follicles shift into the resting or the shedding phase all at once. And that's when thinning becomes visible. And the most common type of midlife hair loss is female pattern hair loss, or androgenetic alopecia, which is what I have. And this is the thinning at the top and the sides of the scalp, often linked to genetics, aging, hormonal shifts, chronic stress, nutrient deficiencies, and more. But there's other types of hair loss too. There's anagen effluvium, which is the sudden loss from chemo or toxins. There's telogen effluvium, which is stress triggered after childbirth or surgery, a major life upheaval like a divorce, thyroid shifts. And then there's alopecia areata, which is the patchy loss of hair, and that's from an autoimmune disease. The key takeaway is hair loss isn't just one thing. It has different root causes, and usually multiple root causes. And that's why treating it requires looking deeper at what's really going on in the body. And in midlife, hormonal changes are front and center. Declining estrogen and progesterone mean hair follicles are less stimulated to grow. And if you are sensitive to high DHT levels, and that's a potent androgen called dihydrotestosterone, which binds to hair follicles and tells the follicle to be released too early. It's converted from testosterone via something called the 5-alpha reductase enzyme, which you can also be genetically sensitive to. And so that's why some women experience more hair shedding when they start to take testosterone therapy, like me, because testosterone converts to DHT. So you can be genetically predisposed to hair loss, you can be genetically predisposed to high DHT sensitivity, and you can be genetically predisposed to high 5-alpha reductase enzyme activity. Lots of moving parts here. But there are ways to deal with all of that. And I do talk about that with some experts on my podcast as well. So add in chronic stress, poor sleep, nutritional gaps, and the deck feels stacked against us. The hopeful part, and there is hope, is that your hair is deeply connected to your overall health, which means by improving your foundation of health, how you sleep, eat, move, and manage your stress, you can create an environment where healthy hair is more likely to grow, especially if you're going to be taking any medications or doing any type of hair growth therapies. So now let's be real about the barriers to entry here. Why are so many women delaying taking action? Because if you wait for the 911, you could be too late in really reversing the damage that's already done. We want to get ahead of it. So next time you're at a family reunion or sitting around your Thanksgiving table, look around. Who's got thin hair? Who's losing their hair? Like look at your aunts, your great aunts, your grandparents, your parents, your cousins. If you see that going on, start thinking about this as a preventative approach to healthy hair growth. So, one of the things that's a barrier to entry is shame or silence. A lot of women, hair loss feels tied to their identity, their youth, even their femininity. And so, when it starts to thin and not look the same or feel the same, it's hard to talk about it. It's hard to just it's hard to look in the mirror. And I remember feeling those ways as well. Confusion. There's a lot of conflicting advice about shampoos and supplements and miracle treatments and this and that. And that stems from the shame or the silence, right? When we don't talk about it, we end up doing deep dives on our own, going to, whatever website and Reddit, you know, Reddit columns or Facebook groups. And again, this goes back to my everyone has a unique health equation. So we all have a unique hair growth equation too. Time. Midlife women are busy. We're working. We have our careers. We're caregiving. We have our families. Self-care feels just last on the list. It's a luxury that we don't have time for. And frustration. You've tried so many products. You're 10, 12, 15 years deep in this process, and you're just finding that you're spending money on these overpromised products and it's just constantly under delivering results. So you're frustrated. And the biggest barrier, believing that this is just part of aging and there's nothing you can do about it, that is simply not true. That is a myth. There's always something you can do. So this is where a health coach can be transformative. Yes, doctors and dermatologists play an essential role in diagnosing root causes. It's why I have them on my podcast, from thyroid issues to autoimmune conditions. But once you know what's driving the problem, it's the daily lifestyle shifts that make the biggest impact. So anything your physician suggests for you to take to improve your hair growth journey will work much better on top of a healthy lifestyle that's consistent and long term. Because growing hair is now going to be a forever thing. Like there's whatever your equation is going to be your equation for life. It's never not gonna be a priority. Unless of course your hair isn't important to you, which I think you're listening to this because it is. And lifestyle. So is exactly where health coaches shine. This is why walking this hair growth journey, this healthy lifestyle journey alongside someone who is there to help guide you, to hold your hand, to show empathy and compassion, because this is hard stuff. And then also someone to be accountable. So sleep. Coaches help you build routines that improve sleep, restorative rest so that your body can repair. Nutrition. We cut through the noise and we guide you toward a protein rich, nutrient dense diet that supports healthy hair growth and hormone health. Stress management. Coaches give you tools to lower your cortisol, breathing techniques, mindfulness practice, reframing thought patterns are huge, and movement. We help you design a sustainable exercise strategy with strength training that protects bones and circulation that supports scalp health. In other words, a health coach helps you discover your unique health equation. You hear me say that all the time, the balance of habits that work for your body and your body only. And they keep you accountable. So the changes are going to stick. If you're listening to this and you're noticing changes in your hair, Here are some practical steps that I'd like to share with you right now that you can start at home. Eat more protein. Try to gradually build more protein into your daily routine. Animal sources are especially helpful, but if you're a vegan, you just need to be really on top of those amino acids. These are the animal sources are complete and contain essential amino acids. You might have to supplement with amino acids if you are a vegan or more plant-based. Prioritize your restorative sleep. You've got to aim for consistent bedtimes and wake times and um, put in those strategies that are going to work for you and be committed to your sleep. The sleep is your foundation for everything. Try to go non-toxic with your hair care. Maybe you're learning more about reading labels, choosing more gentle shampoos, avoiding harsh chemicals. Be kind to your scalp. Think of the scalp as the soil that your hair needs to be nutrient rich, and it has to be conducive to growing. So maybe avoiding tight ponytails or heavy extension use that pull on the follicles while you're in this process. Manage your stress daily. I can't stress this enough, no pun intended. But don't wait for that 911 I was talking about. Small, consistent practices matter. And those are really hard to do. Build your care team. I talk about this all the time, and this is one of the things I work on with every one of my clients is rebuilding your healthcare team. And if you don't know who to see, or you had a bad experience with a doctor telling you your hair thing isn't that bad yet, I can help you rebuild your team with science-backed and trusted physicians. And by the way, I get zero in return from referring my clients to physicians. So here's the bottom line. Midlife hair loss is common, but it's not something you have to suffer through silently. By addressing the root causes and building a foundation of healthy lifestyle habits, you can not only improve the quality of your hair, but also your energy, your mood, your long-term health, your sexual pleasure and libido. So many good things are going to come from it. And working with a health coach can make all the difference because it's not just about information, it's about transformation. It's about having someone walk alongside you, help you create this unique health equation, help discover your unique health equation, and hold you accountable as you rebuild from the inside out. Remember, working with a health coach, you're not mandated to that health coach. You're signing up, you're paying them. So we're going to hold you accountable to show up and do the hard work. If you're struggling with hair loss in midlife, let this be your sign now. Now's the time to take action. Again, no 911s. Let's take a preventative approach. So thanks so much for tuning in today. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend who might need to hear it. And remember, your health journey doesn't stop at menopause. In many ways, it's just beginning. Use the link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary virtual consultation with me today.
Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Lifestyle changes can be hard and overwhelming to make. By building your support team of functional medicine doctors, therapists, and health coaches, you can reach your optimal health goals. Be sure to check out my other podcasts. Until we meet again, stay healthy.